Promised an As I Remember story. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Comes from Alan J. Little of Levin. Good to hear from you, Alan, but your memories aren't of Horowhenua, they're of Central Otago, ice skating at Naseby. Lovely title you've given it, Free, Frost and Fresh Air. The As I Remember story, it's read by Gavin McGinley.
Ice skating in Central Otago is an exhilarating outdoor experience. I well remember being taken by my dad to Naseby and introduced to the ice. The atmosphere was of deep, deep freeze. Every breath seemed to remain suspended in a misty icicle haze. There was ambient music played over the tannoy system, which I now know as the skater's waltz. Hot pies and cocoa seemed plentiful for the crowd, which milled about or sat snugly wrapped against the chill and watching in amazement as skaters young or old moved about with grace and freedom on the floodlit ice. It was the time of 6 o'clock closing, but there still seemed to be sufficient fortification for the adults to thaw the frost from inside out. I recall how the freezing winters, which are endured by the citizens of Central Otago in June, July and August, gave many of us the opportunity to slip and slide on freezing ponds and dams. Not far away is the Naseby Dam north of Alexandra, which is another popular location for ice skating. It's said to be the largest ice skating area in the Southern Hemisphere. I'm told my ancestors were stalwarts of curling back in their Scottish lowland village. They arrived in Dunedin on the Wave Queen on the 25th of July 1863, and through the generations have had an affinity with the ice. The sound of granite stone swishing across groomed ice along the smoothly swept track to the tee is a memory which leaves an enduring and indelible impression for many like me. The mix and multiplicity of sounds in a good ice environment adds much to the pleasure of many, whether they be skating or curling. For me, the memories of those evenings on and at the ice are as vivid today as they were 60 years ago.
Yes, indeed, hard to forget those marvellous days on the ice. That was Free, Frost and Fresh Air by Alan J. Little of Levin, and read for us by Gavin McGinley. And you'll be pleased to know, Alan, that the winter that we're just emerging from, I guess, has been a superb one in Central Otago. Lots of ice skating at Naseby, and they have a luge course there now, and that's been pretty successful. And, of course, in recent years, there's an indoor curling building at Naseby, and that's been very busy. But the big news, of course, was that the frost was so good earlier this winter that they had the curling at Oturihua, where they have the Ida Burn Dam, and they had all the curlers from all over the country. They just drop everything and race to the middle of Central Otago and have their curling. Apparently, it all went very, very well.